Hey everybody, Hunter back again from Showtime Studios. Update time on the little 1/16 scale Pro Street Beetle that we're working on. And before we get into showing you some of the things we got done to this over the last week or 2 weeks, I think it's been about 2 weeks since I've done a video on the Beetle. One of my keen-eyed or sharp-eyed subscribers and a friend of mine noticed something that's sitting here in the shop and had a couple questions about it, and I answered them over on Facebook for him. But if anybody has noticed, there is a over one of my shoulders here, this one, yeah, right back there, I have a bench top drill press in here now. I've been doing a lot of over the last probably 3 or 4 years, I've been taking like solid styrene rod and going out in the garage and turning down, you know, various things like little breathers or for your valve covers or oil filters or, you know, a lot of different things. I'll go out and chuck a piece of solid styrene in the drill press in the garage and turn it down and make the part that I want. And it's just a hassle to, you know, walk all the way, go outside, walk all the way down to the other end of the house and go to the garage and do that and come back in. And then if it's not quite right, you have to go back out there and do it again. So I bought one of these little bench top drill presses from Harbor Freight. And, you know, I got it for, I think it was around 60 bucks, something like that with the coupon, which wasn't too bad. And it's a multi-speed, but, you know, when you're cutting styrene, that's the only thing I cut on it. I don't do anything, you know, metal related or anything like that. But it does work good for drilling. It does go down to about a 32nd, I think, on drill bits. It doesn't go below that. The chuck won't grab onto the bit, but it does work pretty good for that. It does have a tilting table. As you can see right now, the table is tilted on it right here. And you can drill, you know, up to, what is it, 45 degrees? Yeah, you can drill up to 45 degrees on it, which is pretty handy on some things. But, yeah, it was pretty inexpensive and something I definitely needed here in the shop. It will not be in this location probably after the first of the year. It will be moved to a new location over on this side of the workbench. And we're going to be doing some renovating in the hobby room. We've made a decision to do that, and we kind of went through and looked at a few things here and there, and we're going to make it bigger and better and improved. So stay tuned for all that. So that answers the one question, and if anybody else had a question on what that thing is, that's what it is. It's a benchtop drill press. So we're going to do the update on the little Revell Beetle and show you what we've got done over the last couple of weeks. So we'll bring the camera down here, do the handheld thing, go over some of the stuff we got done, and go from there. Hang on just a second. Let me get the camera reset. We'll get right into this. Okay, as always, I'll do the overall view of it. As you can see, it has a little bit of color on it now. This is just a base coat that I mixed up, House of Color, and just kind of doing a test on it to make sure everything's good. Like I say, all this is still in the mock-up stages. Nothing is set in stone or actually, you know, totally done yet. The body's just sitting on the chassis. And I do have the chassis sitting on the display board that we made yesterday. I went ahead and cut that out of a piece of oak board and cut it down to size, routed the edges, and sanded everything out. Put a couple coats of clear varnish on it, and then we let all that dry up, and we waxed it up, and it's good to go. So it's sitting on a Mother's polish can right now, but it will have little feet on the bottom of it. But down here on the workbench, you'll see a couple of things going together. This is actually the T-bolts for the valve covers in various stages of assembly. So that's something that we added to the model, and I'll show you how they come out on the engine here in a minute. I actually have a couple just mocked into place. So we're working on those. We do have the rear end assembly already attached in the model now. Everything's glued in, all the 4-link bars and everything. And you can see the wheelie bars are actually finished up, and they are all glued into place and detailed, ready to go. And I just have the parachute sitting back here, just mocked up into position, just for this update, I guess you could say. And we did get the drive shaft put in. That's aluminum. And we'll move on around here to the business end. We've got a little bit more work done on that. We went in and did a scratch-built Griffin-style radiator. And I don't know if it shows up real well, but it actually has the Griffin painted onto the front of the radiator, just like they do. But when I put the electric fan into place, it kind of hid a lot of that, but it's there. And electric fan's just some scrap plastic and, you know, styrene and stuff that's been shaped, and then a screen that was photo etched for a fan. That came out pretty good. And then we have now the carburetors and stuff are not glued into place yet. The supercharger is glued on now. We did some pulley faces on the pulleys there. And we have the nitrous solenoid bracket into place. You can also see the carburetor linkage with the return springs. That's double return spring. On that, there's one inside of another one. And we're still working on the Enderley style linkage on it. We also added the air purge tank up there, since the radiator is lower than the highest point of the engine, with the radiator cap in red anodizing. And we've got the valve cover breather in. We also put the oil cap on, which is a scratch built piece with a photo etched top on it. You can also see the outlet for the coolant coming out of the intercooler. I have to put in the inlets on the other side yet. And you can also see the T-bolts, 3 of them right there on the top of the valve cover. They're just sitting down in the position right now, just for a mock-up. But coming along real well. We're real happy with it. We're getting ready to do some more work on the fuel lines here today, and the carburetor linkage. I've had to do the linkage a little bit at a time because it's so tedious, and with these little tiny rod ends and everything, it's very difficult to stay at it for any amount of time. But coming along real well. So we're real happy with how the little Beetle's turning out. And like I say, I need to stay focused on this project because it has to be done at the end of October to go to a show. But we'll try to do as many updates as we can and keep you posted on the progress of it. So that's all we have for this video. Like always, I thank you for watching and all the interest in the little Beetle, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.